Antonio Brown is known for some nonsensical things that he says and that he does, but this one people are paying attention to because with Colin Kaepernick on his latest "Let me back in the NFL, I want to be a slave again" pitch, Antonio Brown's not buying any of it, and in fact, Antonio Brown slammed Colin Kaepernick. You guys need to hear this audio of what he said about Colin Kaepernick potentially making an NFL comeback.
We ain't gonna pick him up no more because we didn't like that. That's what it felt like for me.
But they gave him the money and they gave him the commercial. They gave him the documentary.
What you mean after that?
Yeah.
But he didn't get back in the league though.
That's why they gave him the other thing.
As a compensation.
He took the deal. We don't feel sorry for you. You took the deal. Yeah. Fuck out of here. Oh, Kaepernick, man, you on fucking Nike, man. Yeah. Fuck out of here.
You don't so he good? You think he good?
Yeah, he good.
But you don't want to get back in the league,
bro.
He
don't want to play, man. He was trash. Everything.
I don't know about trash. He was all right. Come on, AB.
Man, listen, man.
Right, AB.
Kaepernick did all that and took the money and then got the commercials. We don't see Kaepernick outside. Where he at? I ain't never seen him outside.
I never seen him outside.
All right, so like, don't even say it.
Then he basically comes out and says, you know, he starts slamming him for essentially not doing anything for the black community. He's not from the hood. He never does anything for them. He's just all for PR and press. Yep. Antonio Brown's like spot on this remarkably.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And he's not the only one that thinks so, because Shawne Merriman came out, basically said, you know, he's got a lot of good points.
You know, AB says a whole lot, right? I mean, just whether it's about Tom Brady, whether it's about something else. And I normally don't agree with him a whole lot because just the way and some of the things he says.
Got to put this disclaimer.
I think in this case, he's making a point. I think that more people are just upset on who it's coming from. Right, he makes some valid points about Colin Kaepernick, saying that, you know, hey, he took the money from the NFL, the settlement, the Nike commercials, all these things, and, you know, trying to get back in. He don't want to play football. Well, I think that a lot of people think that way about, you know, all the other stuff that Colin Kaepernick has going on and his opportunities he's had to get back into the NFL and just hasn't. We all know the lawsuit he had with the NFL against them. And, you know, some of the things he was speaking out about publicly. But at that point, man, you had your opportunity. And I think that it would be more of a valid point. It would probably have been an even bigger deal if it came from somebody other than AB. So it was like, hey, we get the message, but people are not trying to listen to the messenger. But he did say some things in there that was right. And he's always going to go off a little bit off the board, right? I mean, it's just who he.
So Shawne Merriman basically saying that there's probably a lot of people out there that actually feel the same way Antonio Brown does about Colin Kaepernick.
Agreed. And, you know, I think that this is it's one of those things where you're not allowed to, in the bubble that has been created in sports media and the sports world, you're not allowed to share your genuine opinions until someone starts to kind of open that door up a little bit. And that's what's starting to happen right now with the AB thing. AB is not like breaking any news. This is something that a lot of people have looked at and they were like, this dude doesn't want to play. He actively has turned down opportunity after opportunity after opportunity so he can play a fake victim. This is what's happened. And of course, it's been hijacked by a group of people that don't pay attention to NFL. They don't pay attention to sports, and they just see an opportunity to virtue signal. That's what this is. And now more and more people are going to start speaking up because now you've got Antonio Brown saying it. Now you got Merriman coming out saying, yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of what he's got to say. And again, this is Antonio Brown who says some crazy shit. So most people would want to dismiss it. But what he said, shockingly, 100% accurate. And everybody knows it.
But that's the sad thing, is it like it takes someone that, you know, crazy or unhinged or somebody who doesn't give an F about what people think about him to speak up and say something, because there's just so many people who share this opinion with him, but they're not going to speak up about it because they're afraid of the backlash. And then once that guy, that fearless dude, makes it a safe place or opens up discussion, now you see people speaking up and saying, oh yeah, well, there is some hypocrisy there. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys talked about this on your channel too, John. I think Shannon Sharp came out and slammed AB for what he said, but I think it's very telling that a lot of former players who aren't sitting there, just dedicated to being a woke sports figure like Sharp, are saying essentially how they feel.
Yeah. Think of this. If Colin Kaepernick probably would have had a golden opportunity in 2020 doing the whole BLM thing to actually come out and say, I want to play. And if he didn't get the opportunity in 2020, those NFL owners would have been called racist. But where was Colin Kaepernick? He made no attempt in 2020, a golden opportunity to capitalize on the race hustle. He never showed up. He never attempted to come back. Why now? Why now? Why is he doing this now? A full 6 years when we last saw him, when he went a mediocre 1-10. 1-10. That was his record. 1-10. But Colin Kaepernick is out there saying, I could help you win games.
Well, even if he actually wanted to come back, why? I mean, I keep saying this, but it's just like, it'd be one thing if he had the opportunity, or even if somebody just asked him, does he want to come back to the NFL? And he said, no, it's run by a bunch of slavers. If he said something like that, it'd be like, okay, the man believes what he says, but he's not doing that. He's going, I want to go back and play. And they run it like it's slave. And it's like, well, then why are you wanting to go back? You don't even believe what you said.
It's because his entire money line, his grift is dependent on people thinking that he's being blackballed from the NFL. So he has to walk this fine line between trying to get back and making it seem like they're not letting him in because of that. Because if he just completely walks away from it, then that's not in the spotlight anymore. But if every year or two he brings it up that he's still trying, he's still getting ready, I still want to be there, but he's not getting an opportunity, then it must be because the NFL is just still so racist. So that's what he's like reliant and dependent upon. Because once he goes back, once he gets a job and people see that, oh, you're just a bad quarterback, doesn't matter. Like it wasn't because of you kneeling. It's because you suck.